Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome to the Sunday chat. I have my notebook, but that's for Ron. Later on. It's for the end. Right. As planned and nearly forgotten, it was a close call. I actually set off in the car at 4:36 this morning to visit some of the areas round and about and film, which I have put together, and I think I'm going to post it tomorrow. I don't normally film or post anything on a Monday. Sometimes there's a gardening video goes up, but I think I will post it tomorrow. It ended up being relatively long. I think it's about 40 minutes, but yeah, basically it consists of me a planned route driving round to places based on the route, not the story I wanted. I wanted to tell the story of starting outside of the town and moving in towards the town via the bridges over the rivers, and then a look round the town itself and some of the older buildings and things, and then on out into the harbour and the sea. So we start inland and move out to the sea. That was the story, but I didn't film them in that water, so it looks odd sometimes because you've got not quite daylight yet, followed by bright sunshine, followed by nearly dark again. I have tried to adjust it all to make it look a bit smoother than that, and I've done little pop-ups with stories as I go along. So hopefully it'll be enjoyable. It's a one-off. I can't see me doing that sort of thing again, because I'd probably only go back to the same places. Anyway, that's what that video's about, and it's highly likely that will get posted tomorrow. It's filmed, it's done. Yes, it's an early start. It was strange because I was looking at my comments first thing, like I always do, and one of them said, "Looking forward to the Where You Live video," and I went, "Oh hell, I was supposed to do that today, wasn't I?" So literally I just dropped everything and got dressed, got in the car and did it. And when I got back, talk about a dry throat, so I got back, what, about 6:45 I think, something like that, 6:45, 6:50, and I'd been running all that time round in the car on one coffee before I left because of the sort of emergency start that I did. Yeah, so that didn't go down too well, so we promptly had two, one after the other. And we're sort of catching up, we're getting there. But yeah, I tend, first thing in the morning I run on coffee. I need coffee, it just works for me. Gets me active, gets the brain going and everything. That's why I do menial things first thing in the day while I sort of warm up. And going out in the car and that sort of thing. I was very naughty. I was filming while I was driving, so I'm holding the camera in one hand and driving and changing gear with the other one. Whoops! Still, at that time of day on a Sunday morning, there's not exactly a lot of people around. I mean, in the first half hour, I saw 3 cars and 2 of those were taxis on their way to the airport. So there wasn't much around, which is good. So what you don't get seen doing doesn't matter too much, does it? So that was that, that's that. There is actually a gardening video on the other channel if you want to go and watch it. That's not going to get loaded on this channel this time round. I do load it on both sometimes, but there's enough going on this one at the moment. So I doubt if I will load that. It's just to look at some blooms and things, but you know, just a reminder that there is another channel. And it is about the garden and the bonsai. I haven't done a bonsai video for ages. But we have got some work coming up on the bonsai. It's just, I like to work in here with my big tray so that the mess is organised and not all over the place. There's not a big clear up job to do. And I've got some pruning to do on my maples. And I need to do it in here. And quite recently it's just been, I'm not coming out here, it's too hot. It's just too hot. Plus I have to have the fan on full belt and the humidifier to keep up. So it's not a place to be, you know, it's a place to walk through and go out there. And sitting in the sun, which I have been really enjoying this year, hasn't been done for more than about 10 minutes at a time. It's just too hot. So that hasn't been done much either. Boring, so to speak. Mojo's spending quite a bit more time outside. I mean, he's got a fur coat on which he can't take off, so I mean, he's inside at the moment, but he does go out and stay out for quite a while now. I've put him a dish of water under the table where he likes to sort of lie in the shade, so that he doesn't actually have to come in because he's, you know, thirsty. He's got a drink out there, as well as in here, obviously. So that's that. Workload in here has all but stopped. In this heat, in this weather, it's not conducive to messing about with things, you know, coming out of pots and changing media and stuff. So there isn't much of that going to be going on unless I see some sort of emergency, and it'd have to be that. It's just too hot. So most of the workload in here that hasn't been done is now probably going to wait till autumn. Unless we get a predicted long, cool, shady spell, you know, a drizzly, rainy sort of period for a couple of weeks. Garden could certainly do with that. But yeah, the weather has been just a little bit over the top over a prolonged period. We've had the driest spring and the sunniest spring on record, and now we've got this. And we haven't had much rain in between. I had a shower here yesterday. You'd have had to run around to get wet. It was heavy, big spots. It lasted less than 2 minutes. It's not worth bothering. All that does is add to the humidity because it evaporates straight away. That was a waste of time. But so the forecast thunderstorms didn't make it here. Now they have changed the forecast for next week, because a few days ago next week was going to be sunny every day here in the south. Now it's not. It's changed a bit. So they do change their minds sometimes. But yes, so that's that. What else is going on? Nothing really, because there's no shows coming up. Next Orchid Society meeting is out into July, so that's not for a while. So Hannah's not down for a while. She's currently in Romania. We'll be flying back today with her brother and her mum. They've done what needed to be done out there, and there won't be any need to ever go again. So that's a one-off trip. It seemed to go okay. You know, I got a message from Hannah yesterday saying that they'd done the deeds they went out to do and had just got back to the hotel. The idea was to get off the plane in the morning and get done what had to be done, get back to the hotel and relax, have a nice meal, spend the night and have a leisurely time making their way back to the airport and making their way home. Now the flights were from Stansted. That's a long way from where they live. You know, you're right out northeast of London, so you know it's quite a long drive, and they'll have that drive back tonight, probably being quite tired. So anyway, that job's done now, over and done with. We can forget about that. So just what I'm doing with the scale on these cymbidiums is every time because as I turn the plants around, every now and again I spot another leaf. They're not all over the plants, they seem to concentrate on a couple of leaves and really have a go at them. Well, I spray them with my little alcohol spray, get them wet, and then just rub the whole lot off with my thumb. Just wipe the whole lot off, so that's the juveniles which the spray kills, and the adults which have possibly got eggs or juveniles underneath them, which the alcohol probably penetrates, but by rubbing them off they're gone, if you see what I mean. So I'm gradually working on them, literally a leaf at a time. And every now and again I just stop, turn a plant round, quarter of a turn, and have another look, see if I can find another leaf to have a go at. So I'm gradually getting rid of them, but they are leaving a few marks in places, a few little dots, which means if ever they go in a show, boy will they get close inspection. The judges and people in the know, they recognise bug damage, and then they start looking for the bugs. If they don't see any damage, then it's just a quick glance, you know. So they'll have to watch them if they go into shows, which they probably will at the right time of year. That will probably happen. There's certainly enough of them to catch the spring shows, or show, should I say. I'm only a member of one society now, but yeah. So that's that. All the repotting and potting on of the Cymbidiums is done. They are ready to go outside. And when this weather stops, because I'm not doing that sort of work in this weather, I will get on with the staging and do the legs, get that all sorted out so that we've got nice strong feet for the wheels to bounce around. Give it a coat of the black stain, freshen it all up, and the plants will go outside. But there isn't an urgency. Because it's hot outside, it's not like I need to get them out of here into the cool air, because there isn't any. It's probably no, it isn't. I was just going to say it might be cooler outside at night, but it's not. Because it's not cooling down at the moment. Hopefully that changes from today, they say. Believe it when I see it. But it's been uncomfortable sleeping recently, you know, disturbed nights, just too warm. Still, that's what we've got to put up with. And I see a certain individual decided to poke his nose into somebody else's business, although I sort of have sympathy about it potentially being his business because of who he supports. Now we've got a worry. Well, I haven't got a worry, it's not my country. And as long as we keep our nose out of it, warning. But what could happen now is instead of the missiles going whee and landing on Israel, they might go whee and land on an American barracks or an American base, an American airfield. They're in range and now they're in danger. Hope that's been considered. Mind you, when you're the other side of the world, sat in your big comfy chair, is it really a problem? Maybe, maybe not. Right, that's that. Batteries. Oh no, it's still okay for a bit. So I say it looked like it was getting low. Some good news over this side. I don't know whether I've actually mentioned it before, but last winter the newly elected government took away the pensioners' winter payment. You know. Now, I sort of see part of the point because there's a lot of wealthy pensioners that didn't need it. But they took it away from everybody, except for those on pension credit, which is, if you're on pension credit, you got a job to buy a loaf of bread. You're so poor, yeah? So they didn't take it away from them, but you know, that would have made the least amount of difference to those people because of the, you know, their poverty anyway. But for people on the borderline and things like that, I mean, it made a lot of difference to me. I had to dip into my own money to add to the direct debits. But they've decided to put it back. They've said the economy has got better and has grown enough that they've got a bit of spare money. Cobblers. It's a U-turn. And it's not the only one, there's been several others as well. And they got another big one coming up as well with their welfare changes. Or they're just going to get it in the neck from their own people. You've got to go careful who you start taking money away from. Yeah? You'll find nearly everybody, apart from the really wealthy, will agree that taking some from the really wealthy is actually okay because they've got enough. But when people have only just got enough or have hardly got enough and you pick on them, you're pushing your luck. I don't know whether in the back room somebody said, well look, when the next election comes we're not going to get back in so we can do what we like really. I wouldn't put it past them. Because in amongst the new lot, and there is a lot of people that have never done this before, they never expected to get into Parliament, so they're new to the whole thing. And there's some of them, quite honestly, when they stand up and speak, they're not that bright, which is worrying. When they're in a position to influence running a country, and they're not that bright. That applies in other places as well, I think. Well, some may disagree, and probably will. So that's that out the window. What else is going on? Mojo's health is starting to show quite signs of fading now. He's got very slim over the last few months. Now he seems, to me, he's still eating okay, but if he's eating and not maintaining his weight, then things are, you know, the age is kicking in basically. But he's still mobile, he still gets up and down the stairs and jumps up on his blanket and jumps up on the bench out in the garden, although not at the moment. He looks at the bench and goes, nah, too hot, goes under the table. And the talking of under the table, the decking is getting worse. One of the boards kicked right up when I trod on it the other day, you know, literally upended. So, going to have to do something about it. And the thing I might try and do, although it does mean clearing some of the stuff, it's the table that's the nuisance. It's quite heavy, and now that I've got lots of tubs and things growing in the garden, to get it off the decking, there's nowhere to put it. But if I could get the table off, and there's plenty of places to put the tubs, I can get those off no problems. My idea would be to lift two boards, one that's held up in the air and one that's sunk. And if I lift those two boards, undo the screws and everything and get those up, I should immediately be able to see the nature of the problem. And then I can make a decision on, can I just take it to bits, fix it myself, or should I go down there and ask Mr. Handyman, Mr. Carpenter, to pick up his tools, gird up his tools and come down here and just do it. Because he'd do it so much faster. With the right tools and the knowledge, that would be done in no time compared with me messing about with it. So that's still yet to be decided, but I don't really want to lose the decking. I've started, you know, the work on the garden has now brought the decking into its own, and I get a lot of pleasure out of sitting out there with Mojo, a lot. So I'd be reluctant to lose it, but then I don't want to spend lots of money trying to get it fixed, and I can't see the landlord paying for it. She'll just say, well, don't use it. You know, if it's going to fall apart, let it fall apart, just don't use it. Put a rope round it, she's not going to want to pay for that. I might be lucky and get her to pay for half of it. I mean, she paid for the tree, to cut the big tree down. There's a video on that if you want to go and find it. A man swinging from the treetops on his own. He should have had a mate and he didn't. And she paid for, I had to get somebody in to clear the major big stuff that was hanging over next door's garden. It had blocked their garden so much they couldn't use their gate. They were having to climb over the fence. Yeah, it had got that bad. She paid for half and I paid the other half. So, yeah, we shall see. It's yet to be decided, but none of that sort of thing is going to get done in this weather. It's just too hot. This is not working weather for somebody who's got a choice, so we won't be doing it. Right, where are we? It's still quite warm, so let's just have a look and see how long this video is so far. We're up to 20 minutes-ish. It doesn't have to be nearly an hour long every Sunday. It depends on what there is to see and what there is to talk about. There isn't always lots to see and lots to talk about, so sometimes it might only be half an hour. That's how it goes, you know. It's not compulsory for it to be 50 minutes long or an hour long. It's however long it happens to be. And just to remind some people, this is an orchid channel, yes. The biggest majority of the videos are about orchids, yes. The Sunday chat is what it says. It's a chat. It's not always on topic. There will always be some stuff about orchids. It's never about nothing about orchids. But it's not always all orchids. Other things creep in. And that's the Sunday chat. And it's confined to that video in the main. So that's what we do. And those that have been around on the channel for quite a while would know that. It's only new people that... I might change the title actually, because I've always called it my Sunday Orchid Chat. Which, if somebody's new to the channel, that could be a bit misleading and put somebody off. You know, literally, I'll blow that. He's talking about other stuff, you know, the garden or a trip out or something. You know, that's not orchids. I came here for orchids. And it would put people off. But if I change the title to my Sunday Chat, it's more relevant to what might be in the video. So I think I might do that. I can do that today. The people who watch it regular won't even notice that I've changed the title, I doubt. My Sunday Orchid Chat only appears in the banner. It doesn't actually appear in the file name that goes on YouTube. It would be too long. So that's the only place you ever see it. And this is the only video that uses the old startup routine, the old bit of music and the old sort of orange and black stuff. This is the only video where I maintained that when I changed the startup layout and everything. Here's something you can do for me, and it will lead into the next bit. I did my first members only video, and a couple of members had trouble finding it because I announced it was going to be there, so they were expecting to see it, and some people didn't. And it looks like some platforms are not geared up to dealing with members as such. And I would suggest one of those is probably a smart TV, and possibly some phones and things that are not Windows-based laptops, shall we say. Not going to name names, but some people have had trouble. The other thing I'd like to know, which is for non-members, as non-members, that group of people is large, and the number of platforms would be everything. So all the possible platforms to watch my channel on would be in use. So did any of you see the video? You might not have been able to watch it, but did you see it? Did you see it was available? Did you see it in the list of videos under my channel? Because there's a bit of a debate going on as to whether they're visible on some platforms. The idea being, from a YouTube point of view, and a big deal for creators, is that if non-members can see it and they try and watch it, a pop-up saying this is a members only video, why don't you think about joining, here are the details, would be absolutely brilliant. But I can't do that, only YouTube can do that, and I don't know whether they have or not. So all you non-members, that's nearly everybody, could you just give us a bit of help with that? Yeah? I know it's not really anything to do with you, but it'll help me, you know. It's the things that I can't do, you know. I'm a channel owner. There's a lot of things I can't do that, you know, are done by external people, the people that watch the channel. So that's that. And now we put the warning shot out. This next bit is about and for members. But other people might want to listen because they're thinking about becoming a member. So if you're not interested in any shape or form, you might want to skip this bit. But who knows, there might be a bit on the end that you'll miss. Your choice. Right, so this is a bit of a one-off. That's why I have my notebook. I haven't got a memory that's that good. And this is some statistics and something I said I would do for people who are new members in either the Patreon site or the YouTube membership site. Now, as far as the members themselves are concerned, some stats. In Patreon, that video that I put up got 13 views according to my stats. I've got 22 paid up members in Patreon. So that's quite a lot of people didn't watch it. I've got a feeling they didn't know it was there. But I can't tell, you know. On YouTube, 10 people watched that video, and I've got 12 members, so 2 members didn't watch it. Now on YouTube I did a little bit of work, because I can, a little bit of investigation. Anything about YouTube, you can find stuff on it. And basically it is said that in channels that have been running quite a long time with memberships turned on, that people join in the early days, but they also join lots and lots of channels and they forget which ones they're a member of, and they might not watch your channel anymore. even though they're still a member. Now I can imagine that happening, quite honestly, but I don't know whether it's true for my channel. But anyway, I would hope that my members watch members only videos. That's what I've done them for. They are an extra workload, an extra effort, which I'm happy to do, don't get me wrong. Right, so on YouTube, because I can't do this necessarily on Patreon, but on the YouTube channel, as I've said, I've got 12 members. These are they, and the sort of, I'm not doing the financial categories they come into, that's not right. But I can do the categories as follows. Those that have been a member long term, and you know, thank you very, very much for staying with it, and obviously joining in the early days. We've got Fenella Tutu, Monica Gabe probably said, I'm going to make a mess of some of the names, John Wilson, I'm alright with that one, Steve White, fine. Oh God. It's my writing, I'm afraid. Oh, somebody Mittel. Start with N-A-T. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. It's my writing. Natoni, possibly. Those people have been with the channel quite a long time as members. That's brilliant. They will have the little gold badges with a little red ribbon against their name when they post a comment. So they stick out, you know, as long-term members. Newer members, we've got Nina N, Carol S, Helene Parent. They're more recent ones, you know, a few months ago, perhaps 4 or 5 months ago. Thank you. And then the recent ones, these are people who have joined within the last couple of weeks. Fly. And I missed it. Need a longer notebook. Right, so the recent ones, we've got Jackie Bowman, Liz E, with no gap. Now I'm going to try and pronounce this. It's spelt K-J-E-L-D. And I reckon that might be K-Eld, because I think in a language that has J's like that, they're pronounced like a Y would be in this country. If I got it wrong, sorry. And that's Hanson. I'm alright with that bit. And then we've got Mary Ann B. So those are the 12 YouTube members. Now 12's not a high number. I would like that to increase. I may have cut my own throat in this video because I've just said this bit's for members only, basically. So everybody else is cleared off and they're not going to join, are they? I'll work on that. Now on the Patreon site, according to their stats, which are not very good, I've got 22 active, this is paid up members, and a hell of a lot of free members. Well, free members can now not see new posts on Patreon. They won't be able to get at them. But they've still got access to all the ones that I've posted in the past that are in the public domain. They will be the ad-free Sunday chats that I've been doing every week for some considerable time now. And I will carry on doing. Yeah? But they will be for members only from now on. All the videos I put on Patreon, if you're not a member, you don't get to see them. Now I know on Patreon you can see them, but you can't get at them, which is what I like. I wish YouTube was like that. So new people on the Patreon site, we've got Eric Kate, Kathleen Powell, Liz, no surname there, and Araceli or Arakelli, not quite sure how that would be pronounced, and then Stephanie Radziewicz. I might have got that somewhere near it, having got a couple of orchids that were first described by Polish people that have things like Z's and C's all over the place. It's just a combination of letters we don't normally have in this country. So they, you know, a bit difficult for me to pronounce. Anyway, R-A-D, then we've got Z-I-E-W-I-C-Z. That is a word that wouldn't exist, you know, in the UK's version of English. We wouldn't have that. So that's as it stands at the moment. whether the non-members or not like it or not, because as far as I'm concerned, it's not talking about finance directly, i.e. money, but I will be plugging for people to join on one of those two sites at the end of most videos, providing this old brain remembers to do so. And if I miss it, tough, it's my fault. But I want to try and push the memberships. It's something that I can do, and it's something that will help the channel considerably. So that's what's going to happen. So that's that. And if anybody's still here that's not a member, there's your plug. You could perhaps think about doing so. You get what you would get. Everybody gets the Sunday chat on Patreon, ad-free, because it's via a link. So everybody gets that as a member on Patreon. And then in addition to that, once a month you get a members only video, which also gets posted on YouTube. And another once a month, so like the second one in a month, will be for the higher tier members, the ones that have joined at a higher level. So they get 2 members only a month. That's as far as I've gone so far. If the memberships start to steadily climb on either or both of the platforms, then I'll do more. But what I won't be doing is doing it at the expense of the main channel. I've already had a couple of worriers. Oh, if you're getting members only and you'll forget about us. No, I won't. That doesn't change. Right, so that's that. And if anybody's still here that isn't a member, in addition to giving a plug, and perhaps you should think about joining if you can, not everybody can, the thank yous. So thanks for supporting the channel in whatever way you do. And that can include the bare minimum of watching the videos. That's the least you can do to support the channel. It does help if you watch some adverts along the way. But you know, watching the videos and doing the thumbs up, it helps with the stats, which is what YouTube's looking at, and it's YouTube that can promote a video or not. So the thumbs up, the number of views, the retention and all that stuff is what YouTube's after. So that's free, yeah? Everybody can help with that. So thanks for those that do, and yet again thanks for those that have done a financial contribution in whatever way. Somebody did bring up a point that I hadn't thought of, because it's not something I thought anybody would do. Some people have become members on the Buy Me a Coffee site. I can't post videos there, so they're making a regular Buy Me a Coffee donation. That would be better done on the Patreon site, I think. And then you'd get access to the non-members videos. So just a point of order, basically. The Buy Me a Coffee platform for me is just a one-off donation for something that you got out of the channel that was special for you, like a tip. That's the way I look at it. Worth thinking about though if you are one of those few people that have actually joined the Buy Me a Coffee site, which I didn't even think you could do. So it was a new one on me. Right, my hands are free, so we can have our coffee back. Now I've got pins and needles in my toes now. That's something else I'm going to get, getting old, circulation issues. I don't at the moment. But I tell you, I have got something new on the health front. I noticed it the other night when I had one of my toenails was a bit split, and I got the scissors and I thought, well, just trim that off in case I catch it, and I thought, my feet are a bit swollen. So I got Hannah and she said, yeah, your ankles and your feet are slightly swollen. That will be fluid retention, and it can be for many, many reasons, a lot of which wouldn't be applicable. But the one that is possibly applicable is a heart issue. Well, I got one of them, haven't I? So it could be a knock-on effect. Next time I have anything to do with the medical profession, I'm not going to try and get an appointment or anything. It's only, Hannah said they are only slightly swollen. I mean, I've seen people with, you know, feet out here are all bandaged and taped up, trying to hold them in place. It's not like that yet. Oh, as kids I thought that was Mojo yowling. I thought he's asleep on his blankie. Yeah, so I do have slightly swollen ankles and feet. There's no discomfort or anything, and I can still get my shoes on. But that could become a problem. I mean, my trainers, you know, are relatively tight fitting. If I can't get them on, I'll have to have a size bigger, won't I? That'd be a nuisance. And big clown feet sticking out to try and get me feet in. We don't need any of that. But yeah, Hannah said the most likely thing is either a heart issue, which could be, because you have got a heart issue, or, I'm sorry to say, Dad, it's called old age, and it's just one of the things that older people get. You could relieve it by sitting with your feet up. Well, when I'm on the laptop, I can't do that. But when I'm sat in the comfy chair, I could if I got a stool. If I got something soft, because I've got a little table next to my comfy chair where I keep the remote controls and put me glass of wine in the evening, you know, that sort of thing. So I put that out. I said to Hannah, I could put my feet on here, and I thought, yeah, for about 30 seconds it's too hard, it hurts my heels. So that didn't work. But, you know, either get a cushion for that or actually get a footstool. So we might look at doing that. The trouble is, I'm either on my feet or sat in my computer chair for most of the day. Sitting in my comfy chair has been done a bit more recently because it's been hot. So I don't really want to be doing anything at all, so I relax and watch a bit of tennis. I've been watching some of the tennis. There's a relatively new sort of star, and I can't remember his actual name, but it sounds a bit like Alcatraz. It's not, but it's got similar letters in it. I'd like to go up to him and just go, you don't need your mouth open all the time, that so annoys me. Just close your mouth. I just remember there was a kid at school who always walked around as though he had a weight tied on his chin. Anyway, he's doing well, and he plays well as well. It's funny how I think the commentators maybe younger people, newer, but how they forget. Oh, some of the shots he does are just outrageous. Never seen anything like that. Well, let's go back, shall we? Connors, Nastasi, Borg. Those shots have all been done a million times before, just as good if not better. Yeah? So don't say this is all brand new, it's not. I've seen tennis balls being dug out of the corner and put straight back in the opposite corner. Yeah, so it's not new at all. The only thing that's come over the more recent years I've found is what I call the one-serve wonders, because all they've got is a really, really powerful serve. So when it's not their serve, they're not as good. You know, when the other person gets a go. But yeah, some people can take, it's that motorbike, some people can take quite a while to get their head round how to return some of those powerful serves. So there's an awful lot of aces, you know. And it's not entertaining to watch, it's dead boring. You know, whack, whack. It's not entertainment, is it? Okay, it wins games. It's, you want those nice long rallies that end up with somebody spread-eagled on the floor, just about getting the tip of the racket and going blip, over the net like that. That's what we want. We want plenty of that. Anyway, Wimbledon will be coming on soon. We will be picking and choosing, but we will be watching that. There's just so many players get going, and I mean the TV coverage now is extensive. It'll be starting at bloody 10 in the morning till midnight on one channel or another, if not multiple channels. So there'll be plenty of choices what to choose to watch, and we'll be doing some of that. So that's good. Right, so there's a whole section in this video that my non-members didn't see because they didn't stick around. Well, tough. Some people might have been clever and actually looked and thought, well, there's actually nearly 20 minutes left of the video. You shouldn't possibly be talking to about members for that long. Perhaps there's something on the end, and just skip forward. which some people forget they can do. But yes, so I will be pushing the memberships to try and get more people to join. I will keep the perks going as long as people watch. My problem is trying to get the members that I've got to watch and leave comments would be even nicer, because my stats only show how many people watch the video. They don't say who. That's never been available. Now, if I've got 12 members and I get 12 views, then all of my members watch the video. But if I only get 10 views, 2 people didn't watch it and I don't know who they are. But if all the people who watch it leave a comment, then it'll be the ones that didn't leave a comment that didn't see it. But on YouTube, I've got no way of contacting them. YouTube doesn't allow that. Patreon does. On Patreon, I can select at the top in the banner heading, paid members. And then it'll say like 22 paid members, and up at the top it'll say message 22. I can click on that, type a message, and it will email those 22 people. So I can tell them there's a video coming up. Providing that's their current email, of course. Otherwise that's not going to work. But yeah, we'll sort of work on it. We'll keep niggling at it until we get it to run nice and smoothly, which it will. As I said, both of the platforms have been doing this sort of thing a long time, and although I haven't really tried hard. I set up the membership on YouTube initially, and then basically just expected people to join and not get anything for it. And then I tried with the Patreon site, and I thought, well, how do I get a video on here? And I thought, well, I can post a video on there, but then it's on the platform. And I thought, hang on, we can cheat here. If we post it on YouTube as unlisted, then nobody on YouTube can see it except me and anybody I give the link to. Well, if I put the link on the Patreon site, then they can see the video on YouTube. So that's what I've been doing. That's why the people on the Patreon site get to see this Sunday chat with no adverts, because they're looking at an unlisted video on YouTube via a link. So they get an ad-free version, that was the only perk for a while. Well, that's changed now. Anyway, enough waffle, and thanks for being with the channel. It is appreciated in, as I said, whatever shape or form. So it's all good stuff. The channel does slowly grow, number of subscribers goes up. Now I'm aware that underneath that figure there are people that are unsubscribing, but as long as there are more people subscribed than unsubscribed, the channel grows. Only YouTube can see that level of detail because they've taken it away from the stats, so I can't see it anymore. And quite honestly, the membership on YouTube, the stats, they're trying to be nice. I understand what they're doing. But if somebody leaves, I don't know who it is, because they're just not on the list anymore. You can't list those that have gone. You can on the Patreon site. Well, in fact, it tells you. Not on YouTube. So all I could do was like do a screen print or something of how many members I've got now, and if one goes down, I have a look at the new list and the old list and see who's gone missing. But I don't bother with all that. If somebody wants to leave, you know, that's their choice. So that is the thing with choices, positive and negative. So that'll do for today. As I said, I'm going to post my where I live video tomorrow. What happens after that, I haven't got a clue. And as I've said, don't forget we've got a gardening video that I posted yesterday. It's only a quick one. It's not a whole tour of the whole garden or anything. It's just to look at some blooms really, and one that's a bit special. So that's on the Gardening and Bonsai channel. And I will see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.